Hi everyone and welcome to another Married to Reselling video. My name is Simon and together with my wife Faye we resell mainly on eBay and Amazon. Today's video is a follow-up to the off-site ads promotional tool on eBay where we opted into a 75% off offer from eBay and started a campaign just to see what would happen. We've put out 2 videos about it so far showing the results. We've now got to a stage where we can put the results out and let you know how the campaign did, what we learned and whether we recommend doing it for yourselves. So the first thing to say, I notice when people talk about promoted advertising, marketing spend, it really shows how divided the opinion is about whether you should spend extra money, giving extra money to the marketplaces to show your products. And I think whatever you choose, it's probably born out of your experience, whether it works or whether it doesn't for you. And we feel very much that advertising works and really it's a non-negotiable for us. Standard ad campaigns on eBay, on Amazon, and anywhere else you're selling. For us, they really are essential. Now, for some platforms, it just hasn't worked for us. So Etsy, for example, we don't sell on Etsy anymore. When we didn't do either Etsy ads or off-site ads, we made no sales. And when we did use the ads, we might have made the odd sale. But by and large, because the ad campaign that kind of made sales for us on Etsy, it was pay-per-click, so although it would make sales it would also cost a lot when it wasn't making sales. But in general, we are advocates that if you want to sell products faster and put items under the noses of buyers, providing everything is right, you know, the price, the promotion, the product, the presentation, then it does work. But because our cost price is so low for some of the stuff that we buy, we don't mind spending a bit on advertising to get them sold, because what we're paying in promoted fees, other people are paying in their cost prices. So the first video we made, we showed the results from the 30th of the 9th to the 11th of the 10th, and those are on the screen now. Just to remind you, we took an offer for 75% off fees. So this first period was just nearly 2 weeks. We spent £8.77 and got £60.65 worth of sales. Had we not been getting 75% off, that spend would have been over £30. We then made the second video and that came out just around the 25th of October. So this period was from the 12th of October to the 25th of October. We made sales of £16.72. And the ad fees for that period were £11.16. So don't forget, if it wasn't for the 75% off, we'd have paid over £44 to make sales of £16.72. Now, you may remember, if you saw that video, we were getting emails and messages from eBay saying, don't adjust the campaign, it's in its learning period. Try not to make adjustments and be patient. So that is very much what we did. It was very interesting, the comments that we had on the video. Or some of the comments that we had on the video telling us that we should turn it off, that it's just a rip-off, and you know, why we know we're being taken for a ride, why are we finding it fun? You know, the point of the video, the point of all of our videos is just always to share our experience. If you haven't tried something and haven't experienced for yourself, how can you pass judgment over whether something works or not? If you've seen a very detailed video showing the exact process and that seller's shop matches yours, so therefore everything aligns and their experience would therefore be the same as yours, then fair enough. I certainly haven't seen any videos like that, and that is the video that I'm attempting to make, although you will obviously sell different things to us, but we've seen the process through. We've followed eBay's guide on what to do, when to do it, how to do it, and we're sharing the results with you. And if it turns out to be completely unprofitable, then obviously that's going to get shared. Hopefully lots of people will see that. They can make their own mind up as to whether it may or may not work for them. But simply saying to switch it off and stop doing it, you know, that's not why we make the videos. We try to put in as much sort of data-driven information as we can, even though we don't do lots of videos with screen sharing and all that sort of stuff, but we share information that we've learned and that we've ultimately got figures to back up. So the messages and the guide about offsite ads is very much saying leave it alone for 4 weeks, it's going through a learning period. So that's exactly what we did. So this was the last couple of days of that 4-week period. So we made that video on the 25th of October. The 4-week period ended on the 28th. So I just filtered it to the last couple of days of that 4-week period. In that period, we didn't make any sales and we just had an extra £1.70 of cost, which would have been over £7 had we not been getting the 75% off. So at that stage, for the 4-week period, we made sales of £77.37 and we had fees of £21.63. And I know I keep repeating it, but just to remind you that we were on 75% off, and had we not been, we'd have paid over £80, so £85, £86, something like that, for £77 worth of sales. But we were willing to test it, as we said in previous videos, 75% off those fees. We were willing to leave everything alone. This is during the learning period, and see what happens after that learning period, because eBay were very much telling us that we were going to get a boost. eBay were describing it as a ramp up. Frequent changes can disrupt the ramp up. We're having a ramp up in 2 weeks. You read it here. So this is the result of the first week after the end of the learning period. So this was the start of the ramp up. We made sales of £14.99 and spent £4.19 in fees. That would have been £16, over £16 if we'd have been paying the full price for those fees. And let's have a look at the second week after the learning period. So this is the second week of the ramp up. Whoa, sales. So we made £82.99 in sales. We're going to look at what these sales were in a second, because it's very, very interesting. We spent £11.66, so that would have been over £45 had we been paying the full value for that. So after eBay did its learning, which finished on the 28th of October, this is what happened. So this is about almost 20 days. So 29th of the 10th to the 16th of the 11th. Sales £97.98. Fees £15.85, which would have been over £62. Those are the early results. What do you think? Put in the comments what you think of that. In total, the whole campaign since it started back at the end of September has done £175 worth in sales. It's spent £37. Without that promotion, that would have been best part of £150 in ad fees. So I'm going to show you what's sold now, and this is where it gets interesting. And ultimately, I don't mind saying now that this is really, really bad. I would never run ads like this. Oh, look at the clicks. Look at those number of clicks. Oh, get it off my screen. There we go. I just changed the start date just so it wasn't on there. Would I run another offsite ad with the promotion? No. Would I run it without the promotion? Absolutely not. What I found absolute madness was that since the end of the learning period of the offsite ads, our promoted offsite impressions are down. I mean, that surely doesn't make any sense. If eBay is saying be patient, we're learning, and then it's all going to kick off, yet the moment the learning period finished, if I look at that versus the previous 18 days, it's 30% down or 28% down. How can that be? It's got worse, not better. I guess maybe it's a case that it was just chucking 1,000 darts at the dartboard and during the learning process. Therefore, it was gathering more impressions, but those impressions weren't really relevant, and it was learning what are the good ways of targeting people via their impressions. I don't know, but I was not expecting to see that. Probably the most interesting thing I've learned about offsite ads is that the one thing that sold the most, it was an item that we had 12 quantity available of, some glasses, and the campaign sold 5, and they actually sold very cheap in terms of the advertising spend. The advertising spend for just that product was £5.40. That's over 5 sales. So that's something like £1.08 per sale, which is really, really good, because we also sold those glasses on normal promoted listings, and those advertising fees were between £2.38 and £3.44 on those sales, so significantly more. But the problem is, of course, with offsite ads is you can't pick and choose. If I was able to pick and choose the products that I could put in an offsite ad promotion, I might just choose my multiple quantity items, because I feel that is what offsite ads are for, and that is what promoted advanced is for, where you've got multiple items and you're training the system to show your items, and the system's happy to keep promoting it because there's more and more to sell each time. But for sellers that just have one-off items, eBay's systems are doing a lot of work to make the sale, and they're pointing customers to your product. Customers are clicking your product but often not buying, which is what creates all this wasted advertising spend. So to the people that said in the comments, you know, switch it off, why are you bothering, all I can say is that I think we all had the suspicion that it's a load of rubbish, but I would rather find out myself than just make that assumption. And the reason I want to find out myself as well is because someone else could say it's rubbish, but how are they measuring it? You know, are they going into detail? What do they sell? What are they like as a seller? What are their metrics like? You know, all those other things that feed into ultimately customers making a purchase decision. I'm sort of interested to know what eBay would want me to do next with this campaign, because we're getting the messages about, you know, wait while the learning's going on, don't change anything. You know, we've still got like over £200 worth of advertising to spend if we want to, and obviously, you know, it's coming up to a very busy period of the year. I would probably want to increase my daily budget, and we've now got more items that have multiple quantities available for sale. So do I keep it on there and hope to get some more sales? I mean, the whole thing has spent so far £37, so it's not that bad, but it's over 20%, which is way more than we spend on normal PPC campaigns. So I don't really know why I'm contemplating it, to be honest, but I just feel like, is it still in some way learning? I don't know. Who knows? I don't know. Anyway, I hope you found that insightful in some way. If you've been wondering about it, that's our experience. And now it's time for some sales in the barn.
Crate 10.
Going the wrong way. Yes.
Ceramica Artisinza polka dot blue spotty milk jug. It's from Poland. I don't speak Polish. There we go. It's very cute. That cost 70p from auction about 3.5 months ago, and sold for £14.99 plus post. Then we've got Art 90.
Art 90.
There we go. Now, I can't remember if we got this at a car boot sale. Was it a garage sale? Was it?
Yeah, it's where it's there's that big garden where we were hunting around, where we got the books for Amazon and stuff.
Oh, and that canvas that sold. Okay. It's a vintage original oil on board painting of like a sunset with trees, and that was £3 from a garage sale. Sold for £24.35 including postage. Then we've got Art 32. I think it's a small one. That is a vintage Vue de Marche and de la Maison de Ville in Switzerland. That cost £2.49 in a job lot from auction about 3 months ago, and that sold for £8.11 plus post. Then we've got Clock Tub. Vintage clothes brushes ×2. They're here. They cost 82p for the pair and sold for £8.99 plus post within 2 weeks. They were from auction. Art 91. This is a vintage Earth Angel by Anne Wilde, completed needlepoint, framed.
From 1994.
Ooh. And that cost £4, I think, from a charity shop possibly. And that sold for £27 within 3 months. Oh, and it's going GSP to Canada. Crate 23. Vintage Edinburgh Crystal Argyle Bowl.
They've got white spots on it.
No, that's not. No.
Is it this one?
Yeah.
What?
That's like a couple of quid from the range. And that's like...
Well, we'll
Edinburgh
find out what this
Crystal.
is.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just... Okay, that cost 10p, and that has been listed 3 months and sold for £20.29. And we had a message the other day. The customer said, I'm really interested in buying this, but not if you're going to post it every or Yodel. And I just replied and said, we post everything, either Royal Mail or UPS. And then she wrote again What did she write?
Straight again and said, thanks for promising to send it Royal Mail. And I thought, well, we didn't. We said Royal Mail or UPS, depends on the size. Because,
Yeah.
like, when you're answering questions like that, you haven't got time to, like, if that had been a picture, for example, I'd have had to have looked at what size it is to say, well, sorry, can't send that Royal Mail, it'll be too big or whatever. So people, they just try and sort of tie you up in your own words, don't they? But
They do. And then when they bought it and paid, it says, note from buyer, please clearly mark Royal Mail parcel in capital letters. Please do not leave with any neighbour. Cool. Put a note on your door, love.
or why don't they just put that in their address on the order? There you go. We'll do the work for you then.
Okay, crate 23. A vintage cat ornament figurine, sitting kitten with like a sign around its neck. Yeah. That cost 70p 2 months ago and sold on Vinteria for $19.99 plus post. We have a vintage Cocker Spaniel print framed. It's like a black ink drawing. That cost 82p, listed within a week for £8.49 plus post. Then we've got a tiny little picture. Oh, that was from auction. Then we've got this one. It's a vintage hand-drawn silhouette on glass. Picture frame is black. That cost 20p. It was actually free. I put 20p, but it was free at a car boot sale, and that sold for $19.99 because I got a few things, and she said she'd throw that in for free when I was looking at it. That sold within a week.
For what, $19.99?
Yeah.
Wow.
Then we've got crate 16.
Yeah.
5 vintage glass bowls. These cost 28p. Took 4 months to sell for $14.99. Art 24. Vintage original acrylic still life flowers, framed and signed. That cost £1.44 3 months ago and sold for £26.90 plus post. Then we've got in front of shoes.
Yeah.
Latte glasses, 6 of them. They're new. Hello, UT. There they are. That lot cost 28p. It's the second lot of those that we sold. We had 2 lots in total. They sold within 3.5 months for $15.59. We have Ain't No Saint John Martin CD, 4 discs from 2010. Cost 20p from a garage sale about a month and a half ago and sold for $28.49. Then we've got Art 94. It's a small one. Vintage LS Lowry VE Day Celebrations print, framed and mounted. That cost £1 from a car boot sale. Sold within a week for $14.99 plus post.
Are you sure it's a print?
Yeah. On the table we have this absolutely stunning Waterford crystal bowl. Very large, heavy, unused, still got the sticker on it.
Yeah.
That cost 70p from auction around 2 months ago and sold for £50. Now the funny thing is I couldn't get good pictures of this at the time, so I took one picture, thought, oh, I'll list it anyway and I'll get around to taking the pictures again, and I moved it to try and take some pictures the other day, but before I got a chance it sold for £50. So
sitting on our kitchen side for the last couple of months.
yeah. So 70p into £50.
Is it plus post or free post?
Free post.
Cool. Yeah, very nice.
Then we've got crate 8. Simon is relieved this has gone.
Oh, what is it?
Vintage Florentine Italy table lamp, porcelain.
That one.
Yeah, that was free. That was given to me by another reseller, and that took about a month to sell. No, about 2 months to sell for £10. Free post, but we had so many offers on it. We sent so many. No, we didn't have many offers. We sent loads of offers, and when someone offered 10, I just took it.
It was free.
Yeah. And then random, an antique spirit level wooden. That's 19.5 centimeters long.
Oh. It's difficult to see, but it's
That's the spirit level. It cost 48p from auction 6 months ago and sold for £7.39 plus post. And then crate 32. 7 vintage Ravenhead Siesta Bark Effect prawn cocktail dishes. That lot cost 28p, and they took about 4 months to sell for £15 and 19p.
Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Let us know in the comments what you thought about the off-site ads, and also let us know your favourite sale in the Sales from the Barn. We shall see you very soon. Bye for now.